So hello, everyone. My name is Bridget. I'm the Assistant Director of International Enrollment here at Niagara University. Thank you so much for joining us for our Justice House discussion. We have a couple of really great representatives here to tell you guys more about our living learning communities. Just a couple of housekeeping things. Feel free to have your camera on or off, whichever you are more comfy with. If any of our presenters are speaking, I'll ask you to remain muted, but if you have any questions, you can feel free to leave them in the chat box for us. I'll be sure to read them out loud for those who are rewatching this later for us, or you can feel free to unmute and answer those questions too. We do have, for our domestic friends, we do have an open house coming up this Saturday, November 13th. So if you would like to join us, you can sign up online at niagara.edu/visit. And then a quick reminder for our Eagle Experience Scholarship, that deadline is December 1st. You only need to attend an event, which all of you guys are doing today. So congratulations, you've already checked off one thing. The next thing would be to connect with your admissions advisor. And then finally, we would need your application form submitted by December 1st. So with all of that being said, Dr. Reilly, you can take it away.
Great, thank you so much, Bridget. So welcome everyone, and thanks for your interest in Niagara University and the Justice Houses. As Bridget said, I'm Dr. Reilly. I teach political science. I'm the chair of the political science department, and I direct the International Studies program, and am the co-director of the Justice House program. We're always exploring different ways of developing this program, and so interested to hear some of your feedback if you're interested in sharing, and feel free at any point to raise your hand if you have questions, and stop me if I'm going too fast, and we'll take a step back. But first, let me introduce Vanessa Abuday, who is a graduate student at Niagara University and our assistant within the Justice Houses. She is the critical liaison between the students and everything that we're doing, and she also is coordinating a lot of our program activities. So maybe Vanessa, if you want to start off talking a little bit in general terms about the program, and then I'll jump in from there.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Vanessa, and like Dave said, I help out with assistance, and I mostly work on programs and events. And some of the events that I worked on is I worked on a movie night with the students, and it was close to Halloween, so we thought, okay, let's watch a spooky movie, and I think it was awesome. I've never seen it before. It was just a really interesting movie, and the students really liked it. And we also celebrated the Hispanic Heritage Month. We also did watch a movie, and that's part of the events I plan with students, of course. So it's kind of a program where whatever ideas the students have, I also and the faculty members, we try to make that work. I'm sorry for that. It's really loud outside my bedroom. But these are all ideas from the students. So it's really student-based, student-focused. Students comes up with an idea, hey, let's plan a community building activity. I'm like, okay, let's plan it together. Most of these events, I did work with students one-on-one, and we helped plan this event, starting from when to do it, how to go about it, what kind of snacks and food we should get, what kind of movie to watch. Like, it's all students led. I'm just there, like, so the middleman, the guide, but mostly it's all the students' idea. And the latest project or event we're planning is mental health awareness on campus, and to hope the idea is to hopefully take it out to the public, to the community, and taking it out to the east side of Buffalo. So that's one interesting thing we're working about. And the program is just all about, you have any idea for social justice movement or any kind of movement, any justice movement, and we help you bring this idea to light. So that's all I do. That's all the faculty will help in doing, because they do more than that. But that's really what from my end, that's what it's about.
Yeah, great, thank you, Vanessa. I'll ask you to speak a little bit more in a second about some of the other facets of it, but so just to talk about the basics first. We are open to any major, so students from across the university are welcome to join the Justice House program, any level as well. So incoming freshmen are invited right up through your senior year. Basically the expectations, here, let me pull up I'm going to share my screen with a, hold on one second here. Here it is. Okay. So what we're doing at this point is starting to advance a new concept where essentially we're setting it up as tiers. And so students who join the Justice Houses have the ability to sign on to tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 within the program. Tier 1 is you're just exploring things. And so what that would mean is you would take a couple of classes with the program, and you can feel out the program and decide if it's something that's of interest to you. In particular, we have the courses that we're offering right now are Organizing and Advocating for Justice, which is going on this semester right now, and Justice in Action. In the Organizing and Advocating for Justice, we introduce justice across a variety of issues. And so that can be everything from looking at environmental issues to looking at social justice issues to looking at legal justice. We bring in a lot of speakers. We address current events. We look at historical events. And so, for example, this semester alone, we've had a speaker who was a former Black Panther, talking about his experiences in helping to build the movement, and then also being incarcerated and dealing with the prison system and being targeted and repressed. We met with Oscar Lopez Rivera, who's one of the, outside of the United States, one of the best known advocates for Puerto Rican independence. And he talked about his experiences with that movement. We've met with individuals who are writers advocating for basically providing a right to roam across the United States, the ability to travel anywhere you want and walk across people's property, and the idea of challenging the notion of private property. And this speaker, an individual who actually grew up near Niagara University, developed this idea for this book because he walked the entire length of the XL pipeline, all the way from Canada down to Louisiana, and did this basically trespassing across everyone's lawn and properties in order to walk this pipeline, in order to experience what it would be like and what's being lost. And it was an incredible experience for learning about his perspective on environmentalism through that. At the beginning of the semester, we met with India Walton, who, if you don't know, was a candidate for mayor in Buffalo. The vote is still being counted, but she brings a very different perspective, identifies as a socialist Democrat, and a single mother who was a nurse who has developed initiatives involving community developments. She ran a community block club, basically, and helped to develop that within Buffalo. And so she brought a lot of really interesting experience and talked about how she organizes and how she engages others. So we're constantly trying to think of ways that we can bring people into the program and work with us, but we're also looking at doing travel. So in tier 2, basically what happens next is, if you sign up as a member of the Justice House program, what we would expect is that you would take the 2 courses that I mentioned. You would sign off on our shared statement of values, which is basically something that the students work on themselves in that Justice in Action class. They develop a sheet that basically says, this is what we believe in as a group, as a community, and all of the members sign off on it. And then agreeing to be an active participant in events and activities. And what you get out of that is travel opportunities. So this year we were planning on going to the United Nations, but because of COVID, that's been on hold a bit. We're planning at this point to go to Ferguson and St. Louis to examine some of the social justice activism that was taking place there, and the organizations that help to facilitate that process. We're thinking about going to Chicago and to Washington, D.C. to look at different issues of gentrification, of refugee movements, and of other elements of social justice as well. So we're planning on getting out on the road with our students. And if you live in the houses or if you sign up for the program, you have the ability to do that. We have work study opportunities, internships, and community placements. We have grant opportunities. And one of the things that we're doing right now is we're allowing our Justice House members to sign up to basically apply for a grant. And what they're going to do is pick the area that they're interested in. So Vanessa mentioned as one example that there are mental health counseling issues that some of our students are interested in. They'll write a grant proposal and they can get $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 to basically develop an initiative that they want to develop. It'll be done jointly with faculty and with other students. And it'll be an opportunity to work within the community and to develop their own initiative. And the students can get paid for that work as well as get all of the resources that they need to develop these initiatives. Any students in the program can basically get academic credit for the work that you're doing. So that ranges from getting a major in liberal arts with a concentration in justice studies, to minors in Black studies, women's studies, and justice studies, to getting a micro-credential, which is basically a designation on your transcript that says you have completed the Justice House Program initiative. And one of the things that we're working at is on graduation, having students get lanyards that designate that they are a member of the Justice House Program as well. So there are a lot of different pieces there, opportunities to work with faculty and being part of this community. Tier 3 is students may choose to live in housing altogether as part of this Justice House initiative. And so it is student-led, student-run housing. We have 3 houses right now, the Varsity Village houses, which hold about 12 students each. They have a full kitchen, they have a washer dryer, and students that live within these houses commit to being a part of this program and then are eligible to get grants, as Vanessa was saying, for movie nights, for other activities within the houses, but also to design their own travel opportunities and their own projects that will invite you to be a part of and to figure out what it is that you want to do as a member of this community. So there are 3 different tiers, as I said, and lots of different ways to get involved. We encourage you to think about what you might be interested in, to reach out to us. We can start planning even before you come to campus if there are parts of it that you're particularly interested in and want to get a sense of what could you get involved with. And we're here to answer questions, to share whatever information we can. Just one last piece to give you a sense of what our range of student interests are. We have students living in the houses right now who are nursing students, social work, College of Business, students that are in computer science, international studies, political science. I'm sure I'm missing others. Hospitality and tourism. They really are across the entire range. And it's a really cool thing for us. That's what we want to see, because we want students who really want to explore all kinds of different facets of justice. We have students that are looking at getting grants to do slam poetry workshops, students that are looking to do a workshop on trauma-informed care within the community, students that want to do other community building exercises. So we're really open, and we want you to define what it is that you're interested in and to try and give us a sense. We want the program to be about you, not about us, and give you the opportunity to explore justice in whatever way you're interested in. So what did I miss, Vanessa?
Oh no, you covered most of it, and then just the aspect that we also have classes. And I think for me the biggest takeaway, because I'm also for you guys, I'm also new to the school and to the program, but for me the highlight has been the classes, the presenters coming. And I remember we went to the Love Canal and just seeing the environmental change, and just seeing, like, reading about these things, not just reading, but the ability to also visit these places. Like, there's nothing that tops that. Like, you learn in classroom and then you get to physically see it. Like, that's amazing. So those are some of the opportunities we provide in the Justice program.
So Zaida, did I pronounce that right? Zeta?
Zeta.
Zeta. Okay, so Zeta asked what type of classes. So right now we have the two core courses. One is organizing and advocating for justice. And what we're really looking to do in that course is introduce students to the broad range of what constitutes justice. What are some of the historical issues of justice that you may not have heard about within the United States and abroad? Why is student activism such a critical piece of justice all around the world? Things like that. And then in the Justice in Action class, what we're doing is getting the students involved in community projects specifically and starting to get involved in working on different things. So as one example, this spring, we're inviting a community organization from Niagara Falls to work with our class, and they'll define what they want their project to be, and then we'll help them to figure out how to make it happen. So some of our students will be doing PR or marketing. Some of our students will be out in the street doing survey research for them. Some might be helping to design a logo or helping them to figure out what resources are available. Others might be organizing a speaker series locally for them to be involved with. So it'll be an opportunity for us to work with an organization, help them get off the ground and really develop their own capacity in an issue that deals with justice. So, and then beyond that, there are opportunities to continue on with justice studies in a variety of different ways. So we have courses, again, in social justice, environmental justice, and legal justice, and you can go in any direction that you want to go. With the major, the way that it's set up, you have the ability to actually design your own major. And so if, for example, we have right now, I forgot to mention, in our justice houses right now, we have, I think, 4 or 5 students that are theater majors. If they wanted to do a double major in justice and theater, they could choose to develop an initiative that involves thinking about how justice is manifest through the theater program, through performances, and then develop some element of that. And their major actually is something that they would help to create in that process.
So it's like very volunteer based?
Yes, it is. Yeah, and so those tiers are basically increasing levels of commitment and what you're engaging in. So if you want to live within the houses, there's more of an expectation of what you'll be contributing to the program. If you want to be in tier 2 and you want to be involved, the extent can be taking those 2 classes, attending a few speakers, maybe getting involved in a project. But at that point, that's up to you. It really does depend on what it is that you're passionate about. Our hope is, although it is entirely volunteer, that you'll identify something that you really want to work on, and then we'll help you to design that project and develop it the way you want to develop it. So let me ask you, Zeta, just as to bounce it back off of you, what kinds of issues of justice are you interested in?
Personally, at our school, we have Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, Social Justice Coalition, and I'm the fundraising and event planner for our high school. And so basically, I help plan like fundraising for, let's say, Suicide Prevention Month. We did a fundraiser to give money to families that they've lost a family member, and like for grief and making sure that they feel that even though that they may have lost their parent to suicide, that they can still have a good future and it's very much, we plan fundraisers that are actually going to do something rather than fundraisers that are like, who knows where the money's going kind of thing.
Right.
It's like we specifically towards a certain cause that's not as popular as other things.
So that's a great example. And so what I would imagine is you come to Niagara, and in your first semester, maybe you write a grant proposal to say, I want to develop a suicide awareness and prevention program at Niagara. We probably already have some things in place, but not much. And so you could say, here are some of the things that I've seen back in Syracuse when I was involved in this that I'd like to introduce to Niagara University's campus. We could give you a grant to help you develop those programs. And the only expectation we would have is that you would say, this is how it would involve the Justice House program and how you would include other members of the group. And this is what I would want to do next year and the year after to build it into a program that's not just a one time and done. And so, you know, I would fully expect that that would be the kind of program that we would fund and develop with you. So that sounds perfect.
Yeah. Also, we have right now, there's a group of kids in our group that we're making a pronoun video, and it's going to go to teachers, and it's going to be training for the teachers to learn about neopronouns and how to address that in class when people are being disrespectful towards those who use neopronouns or they, them, like they are getting attention onto them, and that everyone in the whole school is going to be more informed rather than being like, it's not always that they're trying to be mean. Sometimes they just are not informed, and that we feel that if our school has more training towards the students, like in our social studies classes, we all had to take a survey about like school safety, what would make us feel more safe, and that went through our program, and we looked through the responses, and now we go to the board meetings. We have 2 representatives that go to each board meeting and sit in and take notes, and then we pitch some of our ideas to the board, and that gets pushed through like the surveys and everything.
Yeah.
So that's how we do that and make it more of not just a separate thing, but also pushing it into the student body to make it more of a difference. Because if only the people that are more informed are being more informed, then it's not going to do anything. It's going to be more helpful people that are less aware of the situations to get that information out to them and it to be available to everyone.
So Zeta, is this connected to the SCORE program?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, so Raekwon Pride is in the houses, and he was involved in the program last year and is actually looking to develop a grant so that he can take some of those ideas and develop them next into you know, a program that we could develop at Niagara University.
Yep.
So.
I think since I do fundraising, and our president and our vice president and the secretary, they all went to SCORE training this summer, and it was like a month long, and they went every day and they learned all these big sections, and that's what we're using as our big like ideas for the year. And this year we have like I think 10 topics that we're trying to tackle for this school year, and like them being like LGBTQ rights, like Black Lives Matter movements, suicide awareness, body positivity, stuff like that. And then like for each month that has like mental health awareness. We're doing an autism walk at our school also. That's going to get plans, is that we're going to have the student body during that month. We're going to go and we're going to walk around the school, and we're going to hold signs like and stuff like that.
Fantastic. Yeah,
we're trying to get that pushed through. So
for anyone who isn't familiar, this is a program out of Syracuse, New York. It's considered to be one of the preeminent programs where students are training teachers how to be more empathetic and how to better understand racial equity issues. SCORE stands for Student Coalition on Racial Equity. Is that right, Zeta? Okay. And so one of the members of our houses is already a part of that, and certainly there would be many opportunities to sort of advance some of those different initiatives as well. How about others on the call? Is there anyone else with something of particular interest in justice that you might be thinking about whether or not it would fit with Niagara University and with the Justice Houses?
We have a question. Is it possible to jump straight to tier 3?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely, Kiana. So we have in our house right now, and the houses hold, as I said, about 12 students each. So that's about, you know, the potential is somewhere in the vicinity of 30 to 36 students. We have about 22 freshmen right now. So yes, freshmen can come right in and go right to living within the houses. You're welcome to do that. And this is one of the programs on campus, one of the few programs where freshmen don't have to live in the towers, which are the big freshman dorms. The nice thing about Varsity Village is it feels more like a house. It has that kind of, like I said, it's got a full kitchen. It's got a laundry, and they're smaller houses. And it's also, I didn't mention, the cheapest housing on campus. So next year, there's a commitment that it will be cheaper than any other housing on campus. So, yes, Kiana, we would welcome people jumping straight into tier 3. So any questions or thoughts about the program? Any particular interests that you have that we might be able to talk about?
How many classes can we take at a time?
For the university as a whole, what generally we recommend is 5 courses. Some students choose to take 6, but 6 is a commitment. I mean, you're basically doing a lot, and especially if you're engaging in other activities. If you do 5 courses a semester, you'll graduate on time, and you know, that's sort of the expectation. So within the justice major, you would end up taking in total 20 courses over your 4 years that would be specific to justice, and then 20 courses that would be across the university in other ways.
When you say the justice major, is that the same as the criminal justice major, or is that a different major?
Yeah, good question. Thanks, Bridget. Yeah, so it's a totally different one. So criminal justice focuses on the system of criminal justice within the United States specifically. Our justice studies would allow you to study, for example, environmental justice. If you're interested in looking at climate change, if you're interested in deep ecology, if you're interested in permaculture or environmental studies or environmental policy, you can take those kinds of classes and connect them together into a major that allows you to get a degree in environmental justice. You can also take courses on social justice. So you might take a number of courses dealing with Black studies, courses dealing with other facets of social justice. Maybe it's women's studies, maybe it is issues involving poverty, and putting those together into a major. So the liberal arts program is very flexible in the way you can put together different courses in order to create a major out of that. And then we also encourage students to think about doing independent studies with us. And so, you know, if you're interested in some specific issue of justice that isn't on the books as a course at Niagara University, the faculty will work with you on a one-on-one basis to do a study with you so that you get that expertise and that area of focus that may not be available in other ways.
Awesome. Last call. Do we have any other questions from our visitors here? It's been awesome, super productive. Love the high engagement here today too for everyone.
What I'll do is I'll send out the different tiers to all of you that are on this call today so that you can take a look at that sheet with a little more detail. Feel free to ask any questions that you have, and I'm happy to answer. I'm going to put the Justice House's email in the chat. Feel free to reach out. That goes right to me and to Professor Hinckley, who is another faculty advisor for the Justice Houses. And we'd be happy to answer any questions we can. Vanessa, do you want to put your email in there as well, just in case anyone wants more of a perspective from a non-faculty member in the program?
Yeah, sure. I will pull my Niagara email in the chat real quick.
So if you have questions for our Justice Houses team, you can email them at justicehouses@niagara.edu. For admissions questions, you can contact our admissions team at admissions@niagara.edu as well. And then Vanessa's putting her email in the chat box for us as well. If you would like to connect with a student within our Justice Houses too, just send an email to our admissions team or to the Justice Houses team, and I'm sure that we always love sharing student perspectives and things like that with our universities, being honest there too. So We are willing to help you and support you and keep this as stress-free as possible. We're so excited that all of you were able to join us today as well. But please do reach out if you have any questions for us.
Wait, I'm having difficulty sending it. It's so different from this end. Okay. How do I send it?
Tell me it. It's V.
Oh yeah, it's V Abuday. So that's just gonna be just kind of like what's on the screen.
Yep.
At mail.niagara.edu. So just the first
Did I
one.
get that right? Okay.
Perfect.
That's it.
Okay. So reach out to Vanessa, reach out to Dr. Reilly if you guys have any questions. But I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to connect with you again soon.
Thanks for taking the time
Thanks for
today.
joining us.